If you or someone you love are facing organ transplant, there are basically three things you should have started doing yesterday in order to prepare.
Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
Hey folks, welcome back to Transplant Helper again today. My name is Jim Merle, and yes, some of the questions I often receive surrounding transplant often comes from people like maybe even you who are facing transplant in the future, who know that is a part of their journey in the days to come, and you're really concerned about preparing for that process, making sure that you're ready, making sure that you're really fixed and settled before you go through the transplant process itself, particularly the surgery and the recovery. Those times can be very difficult. So when I've answered that question in the past, I've answered it in several different ways. I'll be honest with you, you can probably find a whole playlist up here available where I've dealt with this same question or same scenario. However, as far as the things that I most often tell people when I'm sitting down with them face to face, having those wonderful conversations I really love, I often tell people the same things. And I'm going to share with you those things today, which I think will really help you in the long run. And here's what it starts out. Number one, you got to prioritize, okay? If you're dealing with some sort of failure that's going to involve a transplant in the future, whether it's heart, lung, liver, kidney, pancreas, or whatever, if you're dealing with a transplant journey, that also involves a failure. That's just kind of a given. That's an obvious. And I really think it is so important during that time, particularly for your emotional, your mental well-being, that you take time to prioritize. Prioritize spending time with your family, with your friends, surrounding you with people that encourage you, that are willing to uplift you, that you can go ahead and prepare, that will be with you throughout this journey in the future, which you're definitely going to have a wonderful future after this. But surround yourself with those people and prioritize sharing your life with other people. Now, sometimes you can do that through social media. That's fairly valuable. It means a lot. I mean, I'm on front of the camera over 1,000 times, so I've probably done some of that, but really it needs to be face-to-face connection if possible, at least people who you can really connect with in person. That's going to help an awful lot. What this will also do for you during that period of time is it will keep you from keeping the center of the focus of everything upon you. Now, certainly you've got a concerning situation. Certainly you got to spend some time caring for yourself or being cared for by others, but it keeps you from just being so focused and dwelling on that. This situation can become completely emotionally overwhelming if you allow it to be, but by spending time in and around in proximity and communication with other people, you can learn about their issues, maybe their difficulties, their problems, or their joys, their triumphs in life. And by sharing that, it'll help you an awful lot emotionally, particularly, to make it through this time. So I always suggest prioritize. That's the first thing you need to do in this transplant journey. Number two, I also suggest to people they go ahead now and start to practice. The word practice stands out. And the reason I say that is you need to be researching right now. I've tried to help with that with these 1,000 videos or so, but researching right now, your particular failure, again, heart, lung, liver, kidney, pancreas, whatever, research your particular failure and find out what are going to be some of the requirements, what are going to be some of the regimens that you're going to be involved in, whether it's your diet, your exercise program, any part of your recovery, your lifestyle, what's going to be a part of your future that lies ahead of you after the transplant surgery, and how can you go ahead and practice for that? Don't be like I was. When I got into stage 4 heart failure and was facing transplant, there was really no other way to turn. That's just the way it was going to be. I enjoyed on a regular basis, cheeseburgers, chili dog, pizza. I still like all of those, by the way. But, I kind of sat back in my easy chair. Granted, you're not going to have a lot of energy. You're going to feel terrible most days. That's a part of failure, but go ahead and find out what's going to be required. What will be my diet or exercise program? What will be my regimen of recovery? What will be my opportunities in life ahead? And go ahead and kind of practice those things. Get ready for that lifestyle. Prepare your mind for that lifestyle and just go ahead and start practicing those things. Do them now. Why wait to have a healthy diet after transplant, or wait like I did till the day of transplant to determine, okay, I'm going to have to eat better. I'm going to exercise more. Don't do that. Get in those habits now. Again, I know you're in failure. I know you're going to struggle. I know all that's not literally physically possible sometimes, but at least get ready for that. Practice in your mind, if by no other means, and get into those good habits. Get into those good practices that are going to help you in the future. That's going to be extremely important. Number three, not only prioritize and practice, but this one I would say pretend. pretend. Now, I'm laughing at that. I was almost going to say don't make fun of that, but I'm literally saying pretend. Go ahead and fade away into your little corner. When you lay down in the bed at night and you can't sleep anyway, go ahead and make a pretend, a fairy tale world, if you want to call it that. I don't think it will be. I think it'll become your reality eventually, but make up in your mind, where do I want to go with this? What are my hopes? What are my dreams? What are my desires? What are the things in the future that I've not been able to do before in my life? I was born a congenital heart patient, so I basically dealt with heart failure my entire life, and there were many things that I'd always wanted to do and couldn't do, couldn't even achieve them physically in any way. Kind of go ahead and pretend, get in your little world and just think about that and imagine yourself, go ahead and envision yourself doing the things that you desire to do or being a part of the things in life that you desire to be a part of, and pretend that right now. I used to use a term all the time when I was facing transplant. I would say somebody would say, well, how are you feeling? Well, my typical explanation was fine, but sometimes I'd look at people and be honest. I'd say, look, I'm just trying to fake it till I make it. I'm just going to fake it till I make it. Do that, okay? Go ahead and envision yourself in the future and envision yourself living a wonderful life. I promise you, those three things: prioritize, practice, and pretend. They will help you in the future and prepare you for the wonderful days and opportunities you have ahead of you. Stay stronger, my friends.